What is the best eating plan? Is it vegan, vegetarian, paleo, carnivore, keto, the SAD diet? I get asked this question all the time. And we're gonna go through this and answer that question for you. And the answer might just surprise you. And I assure you, big food is scamming you along the way. Hi, I'm John Kropp with Elite Nutrition. I've been nicknamed the Guru of Truth by my customers over the years. Kind of as a fun little nickname, I kind of just stuck because I have a knack for cutting to the truth, cutting through the BS, letting you know what works, what doesn't work. I've been in the trenches in this industry for over 30 years, and I kind of have a knack just to get to the truth of what is really going on and cut through the BS. Now, with the eating plan, what eating plan is best, right? You got various ones. There's a lot in the news, the media. They're talking a lot about the carnivore diet, which is a meat-based diet, animal product diet. There's a keto, which is a low carb. The vegan and vegetarian are certainly very popular. I like to call it a lifestyle plan more than an eating plan, because an eating plan kind of interprets that you're going to be changing it. A lifestyle is the way you want to function, the way you really want to eat. So I prefer something like that. I don't like to call it a diet, because a diet sounds like weight loss. And that can be true, and you can use some of these for weight loss, but a diet is really what the human being is consuming. But in our terminology, we consider it a weight loss diet. But anyways, I get asked all the time, hey, John, what is the best eating plan for overall health, weight loss, anti-disease, and these types of things? And I answer that question with a question right back at them. And the number one thing is, are you avoiding the poisons? Because that is the biggest key. The saying is, it's more important what you don't eat than what you do eat. So keep that in mind. And so if someone was to ask me, do you like the vegan diet? Well, are you eating vegetable oils, the seed oils? Are you eating the processed sugary foods, the cakes, the candies, cookies, the pastries, right? Are you getting wheat and refined flour products? These are the toxins, right? We're going to kind of go through those. So no matter what the eating plan is, keto, carnivore, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, it honestly doesn't make that much of a difference if you first get rid of the poisons. Now, big food, this is what they sell. This is what they depend upon. They're not selling you apples and grapes and grass-fed beef and chicken. They are selling you the processed food, and this is what we're eating as Americans, right? So that's step one. You got to get rid of the vegetable oils, known as the seed oils. The industry likes to call them the vegetable oils, so that's what I call them. They're not vegetables. It's not broccoli oil. Canola oil, soybean oil, those are the main ones. You'll see those in a lot of foods. Those are the two most heavily used ones. If your food contains those, don't buy it, don't eat it, don't cook with it. But guess what? Restaurants use those. Corn oil, grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, sunflower oil, safflower oil, peanut oil. Those are the highly processed, rancid omega-6 oils. It's not food. It creates metabolic poisons to the cell. And another video we can go through in the process from a biological, physiological standpoint, how these affect the cell in the body and how they're creating disease. But for right now, you can do some of your own research, but avoid these. And keep in mind that we are talking about the oils. You can have corn. You can eat corn. There's recipes that call for sunflower lecithin. That's not sunflower oil. So you have to look at the ingredients. And you're kind of going to have to get used to the fact that the big food manufacturers have trained us to look at the fat, the carbohydrates, and the protein, and the sugar content maybe, right? That's not what's important. What's important is the ingredients. You got to look at below that at what the actual food is made of, right? And again, if you're buying grass-fed beef, chicken, your various fruits and vegetables, you don't need to look at the ingredients. It's not processed, right? But in a food like this is just an example of a crunchy, keto-friendly type snack cereal. And in here, you're not gonna be able to see this from the video we're doing here, but there's a sunflower oil in here, and there is a peanut oil in here. You don't want those. This is big food scamming you, and they're throwing it as keto friendly, right? You don't. The number one rule is get rid of these vegetable oils. Now, the number two rule with this is you can't eat the processed sugary foods. You know, the stuff that we grew up knowing that is kind of junk food. Even though your vegetable oils are by far more poisonous than your processed sugar foods, because your body can get rid of the sugar foods. But keep in mind that a lot of your sugar foods will be mixed with these vegetable oils. It's hard to find cookies and cakes and pastries, granola bars that don't also have a lot of seed oils in them too, right? And then your third poison is your wheat products, your refined flour wheat products. Wheat has a lot of gluten, a lot of inflammation. And there'll also be a lot of these foods like your breads, your pastas, your noodles, your crackers, your cereals, your biscuits, bagels, pancakes, pizzas. This is all processed food, full of vegetable oils, often full of sugar, high fructose corn syrup. You gotta avoid these. And then fried foods are fried in your seed oils. There's no restaurants that are using your good oils, which might be your butter, your coconut oil, your unrefined processed oils. Olive oil would be a good one. Coconut oil, avocado oil is not a processed oil. So you should cook with those at home, cook with butter. But no one is cooking in restaurants or deep frying with the good old fashioned way of deep frying. They're all using these toxic seed oils. So you can't eat fried foods unless you were to fry them yourself at home or something, but you can't do fried foods. So the number one step is you're getting rid of these poisons. You get rid of these poisons, then all of these eating plans will work. They will all work. Now, there's some preferences, clearly they're all going to be good for weight loss. They're going to be a carnivore may be good for someone who's really suffering with autoimmune and is really having problems digesting some of the grains and the beans, the peanuts, the legumes, basically. So there's different preferences, but honestly, all of these eating plans will work, right? And one of the biggest problems we see in the store is customers can't really see the forest. They can see the trees that are in front of them, but they just can't really see the forest, meaning they don't see the big picture of things, right? And what I like to point out is that the industry and even health advocates will tell you to eat whole foods. And that is a terminology I don't like that terminology because it's kind of confusing. Whole foods, people are thinking whole grain bread. Whole grain is a myth. All grains and flours are processed, right? Now, there are grains that are better than other grains. Like, for example, if you sprouted your grains, which you soak them all, and then you cook the bread, it's less inflammatory. It creates a lot less problems. Your certain flours, like a coconut flour or an almond flour, is going to be much better than a whole wheat flour, for example. Much less inflammation. But I like to say, eat real foods, unprocessed. So I don't really like to call them whole foods because that's kind of a misconception. Real foods. Chicken is real food. Grass-fed beef, real food. Bananas, cooked potatoes, what have you, are all real foods. And then like the thing, I do like the thing where they talk about eating around the far ends of the grocery store, where the fruit and vegetables are, where the meats are. You don't really want to eat where the processed foods are, where all the poisons are. Big food sells only processed food. They don't sell the healthy foods we need. Now, as you break down the eating plans a little further, your vegan and vegetarian, that's a fine way of going. Nothing wrong with that. They're going to be more dependent on the legumes, the beans, the peanuts, the lentils, and the peas. They just have to make sure these are cooked right. If they're not cooked right, they're going to have too many lectins. It's going to create too much inflammation. So cooking becomes important if you're depending on these as your protein sources. Your paleo type eater generally is not eating these legumes, and they're eating more of your your clean meats, as well as your fruit and vegetables, right? So that is going to be really the biggest key. Now, with getting rid of the poisons, you're well on your way to eating the eating plan that you want. So that is the crux of the argument right there. So I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned to this channel for more information, more videos, and more truth out there than the lies that big food, big pharma, big medicine is telling you in the interest of money. Thank you very much.